Hello, good evening, and welcome to Thingamajig's Racing Channel. We are back once again with the Ultimate Racing League and their Academy Croc Cup. And it's round 8 at Lago Maggiore, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the noobs, the beginners and the juniors all mixed together to have an absolutely astounding championship. And we are 7 rounds deep and just about to head into round 8 at a track I find quite fun. Lago Maggiore. I'm sure it is Lago Maggiore. I might be wrong. I think I read the bump as it was Lago Maggiore, but we'll see once they get started. They've qualified, and there's going to be 2 25-minute races here. We don't worry about tyre wear or fuel consumption. It's just about the racing, the basics, the ABCs, your accelerator, your brake and your crash. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. The championship is lit up. I tell thee indeed. Frank's in the chat and he's on the track, ladies and gentlemen, saying good evening. So Carlsberg is at the top of our championship with 205 points, with Ginger in chase in second place on 184 points. Things get interesting from now on. The Saint is in third on 183 points, but Blackstar is also in third on 183 points. That is a 1 point difference between second and fourth. That is a tight championship, ladies and gentlemen, and that is what we like to see. Bubblegum is fifth on 126 points. He's being chased down by Waitsy, who's in sixth place on 117 points. Then we've got Tidders on 109 points in seventh. Fazzy is in eighth on 108 points, and Frank is in ninth on 104 points. My word, 5 points between 7th, 8th and 9th. A lot to fight out there. Then we have the Krell in 10th place on 92 points. Ninja in 11th on 79 points. Max in 12th on 54 points. Steel in 13th on 41 points. Rufus in 14th on 13 points. JC is 15th on 9 points. And Lewis is 16th on 4 points. My word. That is some table, ladies and gentlemen. With only 3 rounds remaining, there is a lot to play for. We're at the Lago Maggiore. They've done this. They've done round 9 even as well. I can't remember what that was. I was looking at it. Autopolis, sorry. Round 9 at Autopolis, and there is yet to be a showdown for round 10 at the Tokyo Driving Park or something driving park. I can't remember. Kyoto Driving Park, something like that. It's a big track. It's a big epic track. But for today, let us concentrate on round 8. I have the grid down here on paper. We will turn around and have a look at how they are doing. And Frankie saying, how have you been doing, Thingy? I've been doing absolutely super. Thanks for asking. It's been a great break. I have thoroughly enjoyed the Christmas and the New Year. It's been a blast. Right then, the grid. After qualifying then, ladies and gentlemen, on pole position, we have Tidders. Tidders making his pole debut. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember seeing him on pole position before, but Tidders there, absolutely strong-arming his way to the top here in this championship. Don't forget, he's just leading that little battle between Fazzy and Frank. So a pole position here is perfect. But he can't be too relaxed about it, because in second place, ladies and gentlemen, we have Frank chasing him down. So the Frank sitting in second place and knowing what is at stake here. In third place, we have Rexy the Ginger. Ginger in the Rexy, should we say. And he's looking to score big points against Blackstar, Carlsberg and the Saints. So starting in third is a huge bump towards that direction. Then in fourth place, ladies and gentlemen, we have Fazzy. And yes, as we're getting close to the end of the season, the racing is getting tighter. You can see these guys graduating into pro sim racers. It's amazing. So that's Fazzy there in fourth place. In fifth, looking rather stylish, is Black Star. Has he turned up with a different livery to every race? I'm not sure. But Black Star sitting on 5th. Now, the last few times we've seen him on the pole position. So Black Star qualifying not going the way he would have liked it to have gone. In 6th place then, ladies and gents, we have the Saint. Keeping it real, keeping it consistent, staying in the shout of the championship. So the Saint starting in 6th. In 7th, we have the Ninja. They're all the's. They're not, but I've added a the to everyone. So we have Ninja starting in 7th place. Excuse me. I think he's a Celtics fan, isn't he? In 8th place, we have Waitsy, keeping it real. He didn't have a livery last week, but now he has a livery. His livery comes and it goes as it wishes to. But it's great to see Waitsy in his colours and ready to do battle. In 9th place, we have Bubblegum, one of the juniors. And Bubblegum hitting the ground running at the beginning of the season, but having a bit of a dip as we come close to the end. But his racing is always strong. He might not be starting where we're used to seeing him start, but it's where you finish, ladies and gentlemen, and that is what Bubblegum is all about. You watch him cook during the race, and he'll be higher than where he started. 10th for Carlsberg, which is a shock, horror, and a surprise. But yes, the championship leader starting way back in 10th place, just ahead of Steele, who may have the best livery on the grid. I am not sure. But what an awesome look he has. So that is our players, our runners, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare yourselves for 25 minutes of pure racing. Frank in the chat saying that's good. Tell you this, I enjoyed this race so much. Ooh, no spoilers there. But Frank really enjoyed this race. So we'll see. Here they go then. Rounding the final. I think it's reverse Lago Maggiore. And the lights are on, and now they are off, and we are racing, ladies and gentlemen. Tidders leads them away from the Frank with Ginger in hot pursuit. Fazzy in 4th. Everything settles down as they go into the first corner. Everything looks quite shiny, but Frank is edging ever closer to Tidders. Tidders under pressure early doors in this race, and Frank has come out of the box raging, ladies and gentlemen. Raging fire. Lit, one would say, as Ginger climbs all over the back of Tidders, but doesn't able to get anything on him, and that gives Ginger an opportunity to crawl a little closer as well, as Frank climbs the curbs and is crawling all over the back of the Tidders, trying to find a space by. Ginger then in 3rd, under pressure from Fazzy. Fazzy, a good start from the Faz. And Black Star holding on to that 5th ahead of the Saint in 6th. Oh, no, Faz. Who's that? No, it's Black Star. Black Star having a moment. Black Star going out wide and losing the rear derriere of his Porsche. What a beautiful sight, though. It's Black Star's terrible day, but man, oh, that's not what you need, is it, Black Star? Don't need me hanging around watching either, do you? There's a race to watch, and I'm watching you get yourself back up and running. So there goes Black Star on his way. Tidders still leads from Frank in 2nd. Ginger in 3rd with the Fazzy in 4th. The Saint. I didn't mean it was a great sight seeing Black Star off the track. I mean, it was just, I love this car. I think it's a beautiful looking car. Ginger then going for a move on. But what's happened? Fazzy going a little wide there, and Ginger. I wonder if they made contact. And Frank then still opening onto that 2nd, but the Saint moving himself up into 3rd. And with that championship battle going on, that is a close call. And Fazzy, though, up along the straight, drawing alongside and getting up the inside of the Saint. And that's Fazzy into 3rd, and Ginger losing out altogether in 5th place with the Ninja in 6th. Carlsberg up to 7th now. Bubblegum in 8th with Waitsy down in 9th. Still 10th, and Black Star having to play catch up. Tomato catch up for the rest of this race. Tidders still leads at the end of lap 1. Frank still chasing him down, but there is a bit of a bigger gap now between Tidders and the Frank. Fazzy up to 3rd and eager to go. Ginger holding on to that 4th. He's got himself past the Saint, so the Saint losing a position there. against the Ginger. Ginger on the Rexy, chomping away at those apexes, ladies and gentlemen. But the Saints up the inside, and they do battle, ladies and gentlemen. They do battle. Do-dos. Ginger then slipping down into 5th place. Ninja closing in with the battlage that goes on between the Saints and Ginger. We've got Ninja closing in. I love it when Ninja and Ginger race each other. It's beautiful. Ginger going for the attack again on the Saint, and now it's Ginger up and into 4th place. The Saint just behind him in the 5th spot. Then we've got Ninja in 6th. We've got Carlsberg in 7th. Quite a way back from Ninja, and he's going to need them to make a couple of mistakes ahead of him for him to close in on that pack. Again, more movement from the Saint and Ginger, swapping places all the way around this track. Absolutely delicious racing we are perceiving right now, ladies and gentlemen. Fazzy still chasing down the Frank, who has his close eyes on Tidders, but at the moment Tidders is making no mistakes, dropping no balls. Making his way around Lago Maggiore in a winner's fashion. But it's a 25-minute race, and it's a long time to go to take the pressure of Frank, who's staying with him all of the way, it seems. He's sticking to this one. And Fazzy there in 3rd, keeping an eye on what is ahead of him. The Brownster in the chat saying, good evening, all the very best thingy for the new year. Well, thank you very much. 2026, darling. Sweetheart. Honey bunch. It's going to be a good one. Ginger in 4th. It's the year the men take over again. I'm joking. My wife won't let me. So Ninja in 5th with the Saint in 6th. Carlsberg in 7th. Waitsy in 8th. Bubblegum in 9th. Blackstar in 10th. And Steele in 11th. I meant Marvel. It's the time the men... Oh, Tidder's under pressure there. He's having to actually get himself down and dirty in the racing there, scooping it up through the apex, and still ahead of the Frank. But I think there Tidder's showing a bit of signs there of the pressure that Frank has brought to the table. Yes, I meant in the Marvel universe. The men are taking over again. So Fazzy in 3rd. So something to look forward to. The Avengers. But men. Ginger in 4th with Ninja in 5th. Ninja under pressure from the Saint. No, Ninja is just recently got past the Saint there. But the Saint, he's got a fighty head on today as the Saint. He is racing everyone. And although he has slipped back from that battle with the Ginger, now he's giving it to the Ninja hard. And the Saint, he races fair but hard always. Wheel-to-wheel action you get with the Saint, and you know you're in safe hands. He's not going to put you off. Oh, both of them sliding through that corner there. Ninja somehow kept hold of it, and the Saint found himself off the road as his car slides through that section, and he picks himself up a penalty, and Carlsberg arrives on the scene to point. And so the Saint must be getting very frustrated there. Nothing wrong with the driving whatsoever. And getting a penalty and losing out to the Ninja. Ninja absolutely flying at the moment as Carlsberg gets the move done on the Saint as he pays his penalty. Waitsy having a quiet race here in 8th place ahead of the Bubblegum. And Waitsy does need those points on Bubblegum if he wants to shift past him in the table, in the championship table. Blackstar up to 10th now ahead of Steele, who is absolutely glorious in the Fortnite livery and looking solid. I'll tell you the what, Steele has been an absolute wonder this season. Hasn't had the pace to take the fight to the other guys, but he has not given up. He knows it's the long game. These are the early days, and his driving is impeccable. He gets out of the way when other cars come upon him, and he's on the track a whole lot. Oh, not that time though. Sorry, Steele. Maybe I put too much pressure on you, telling you how good you were. So Tidders there leads the way, and Fazzy now. Frank's lost a bit of ground. And Fazzy has taken up that space into 2nd place, and Fazzy, absolutely fully loaded with Marmite, is taking it to the man, and the man is Tidders. Frank recouping. Yeah, he lost 3 seconds that last lap. Frank, making a small mistake, but coming back stronger here with purple sectors, and Frank dealing out a little bit of those fast times. Ginger in 4th place. He's away off that top 3. And it looks like he's playing for 4th today unless something goes wrong ahead. And he's got a lovely gap from Ninja, who is ahead of the Berg. The Berg chasing him down. Berg doing a 14 last time around. And Ninja doing a 14 also. The Saint 16s last time out, but the Saint looks very racy today. Very racy indeed, but Wasey's coming into it, and Wasey a lot faster than the guys ahead of him. Wasey absolutely landing those lap times, and we've found a track that Wasey seems to be very comfortable with. So Wasey then, and a huge improvement as Wasey closes in. Bubblegum then in the 13s also. Amazing stuff. So Wasey and Bubblegum bringing the noise into this fight. And Matt Humphreys in the chat saying, evening all, what's this race? It's the Academy, the URL Academy, the juniors and those that haven't really raced online much and they just want to dip their toe in it and see what it feels like. Join the Academy, Monday Night Racing on the Ultimate Racing League. You could Google them. They've got a website, they've got a Facebook, they've got a Discord, they've got it all. And they've got a lot of racers on their rostrum. But this is their Monday night one. There's Wednesday night racing, there's Tuesday night racing, and there's, more importantly, Sunday evening racing, which is their jewel in their crown, which I'm not currently covering at the moment, but I'm sure I will be back to it. But they've got a full gang of commentators for Sunday night, so they don't need me. But they did ask. I just said I didn't have the time. But yes, it would be lovely to get on. Oh, Bubblegum there, we were watching. I didn't see really what he'd done to deserve that ½ second penalty. Maybe he was just going too goddamn fast. And the game said, whoa, down now. Yeah, there's a yellow flag. Oh, it's the Ninja. Ninja making a small mistake there and finding himself facing the wrong way, and that's given Blackstar another position, but Blackstar's been a naughty boy, as has Bubblegum. Wasey flying at the moment, 212s now for Wasey as he chases down the Saint, who's raised it up to 13s, and Carlsberg in the 12s as well. So the guys have got the message ahead of Wasey that he is coming, and they have picked up the pace, but they're tumbling over each other. The Saint and Carlsberg get into racing, and Carlsberg puts it into the wall. And I didn't see contact, so I'd never like to point the finger, but the Saint looks like he lifted off and let the Berg through, and that has brought Wasey well and truly into the mix. When you mix in a cake, think of Wasey as the raisins. He's bringing the raisins, ladies and gentlemen. Blackstar now up into 8th with Bubblegum on chase after Bubblegum and Wasey. I mean, Blackstar would have... Oh, Blackstar slowing a little bit. I don't know if that's a penalty, but 3 wide from Ninja, Bubblegum and Blackstar here. And Ninja goes through up into 8th. And Blackstar ahead of Bubblegum. Bubblegum being very polite here in the racing areas. He wanted to get in there and get those positions taken. But it looks... I mean, he may not know the track. It's not a track that comes up that often. So... it is it is an in-game fantasy track, or it's not a real track, should we say? And you find a lot of people don't like to use the pretend tracks. So yeah, a couple of these guys might just not know their way around. They might have to get the sat nav out. Tidders at the moment absolutely flying high at the lead of this race, and no one has been able to come and take the fight to him. Frank nearly did, but didn't quite. Fazzy's getting the fastest lap as we make our way up to the 12-minute mark. Not even halfway through this race yet. Tidders has got a lovely bit of length of distance between himself and the Fazzy. Ginger in 3rd, absolutely now. Oh, he's up into 3rd, so he's gained a position on the Frank there. And Carlsberg, starting from 10th place, is up to 5th already, so interesting stuff. The Saint there in 6th with Wasey 7th. He's closed in nicely to the guys ahead, and he is on pace with them. Although I don't know if they've got the telegraph or a text message, but Black Star is absolutely pelting it behind him and on his way. So Waitsy, Saint and the Berg may find... Oh, Waitsy just slammed into that wall very hard indeed. And he's lost a bit of ground to Carlsberg and the Saint now. Frank dropping back from Ginger. Ginger, nice cruise in third place. That would be good for his championship efforts. So Ginger at the moment absolutely cruising for a solid third place, but it does look like Frank has intentions and a can-do attitude to try and close in on the Ginger for that podium battle. Points are everything at the moment at this point in the championship, ladies and gentlemen. We all saw the story of Lando Norris. He needed the points, he got the points, and then he won the championship. This is the frame of mind these guys have got to get into. Carlsberg up to 5th, championship leader, only really losing big points to Ginger. I don't think Tidders, Fazzy or the Frank are a concern to the Berg at this point in the championship, but Ginger could still be a threat from second place in the championship, sorry. The Saint as well in that battle, going for a move on the Berg, and the Saint absolutely pulls it off up the inside, catching out the Berg. And Carlsberg then now breathing in the exhaust pipes of the Saint. And the Berg trying to make short work of it, going up the inside of the Saint, but not quite happening yet. And Waitsy and Black Star now joining in the fun and the frolics. Black Star closing in on Waitsy. He's going to go for an early move on 2. Is a twofer for Black Star up the inside. Small contact on the Berg though. Not sure if the Berg was happy about that. But Black Star up the inside came in very, very fast. And the Berg, where is he? He's ahead. I think Black Star's lifted there to let the Berg through, and Waitsy, maybe he felt that was a little heavy-handed up the inside. I mean, he got past Waitsy quite nicely, but I think he gave the Berg a bit of a clout. And but he backed off, let him through, and now he's going to do it properly, just to prove that he can. As Black Star then moves up past Waitsy, and now Carlsberg under threat from the Black Star. This is giving Saint an opportunity to get away from the action. So the Saint now knuckling down and getting on with some very fast lap times, as he needs to move away from the action behind him. Frank in 4th. Frank a 2:10 last time around, Ginger a 2:10. Even Stevens between 3rd and 4th at the moment. They cross the line again, and it's a 2:10 from Ginger, a 2:09.3 from Frank. So Frank slowly but surely closing in on 3rd place. Fazzy a 2:09.4, but Tidders a 2:08.6. Tidders is absolutely spanking this race into another dimension. Steele absolutely solid drive with Bubblegum in 10th there, dropping back from Ninja, who is chasing down Waitsy. And that is a recipe for a beautiful race later in this one, if Ninja and Bubblegum can close in. Black Star still trying to work on the Berg here, and Black Star makes it. Black Star makes it. Remember, he had a massive off on lap 1 and has had to fight his way back up to 6th place at the moment. And Black Star absolutely landing his punches, ladies and gentlemen. Carlsberg in 7th place behind Black Star, and Waitsy in 8th, waiting to leap on the Berg. And this, I've got to say, is it's a lot better race we've seen from Waitsy for a while here. He's on pace and he's very racy. I like it. Ninja in 9th, closing in on that pending battle ahead of him with Bubblegum. Also needs to pick the pace up. He can do those 13s. I reckon he can get in those 12s if he really gets his mind into the gear. Set in gear. Steele in 11th place. I think, I'm not sure, but Steele may be the youngest in the pack, so you've got to give him credit for taking part, I'm sure. One sec, I've got to take my jumper off. It's wow, we've got the fire on. So Tidders still leads this race, ladies and gentlemen. Tidders on fire. Lago Maggiore and the Tidders Porsche Cayman is a perfect mix, it would seem. It is the combo. He's in the zone. Look at him. It's beautiful. Fazzy chasing him down, but Fazzy now the fastest man on track. And can Fazzy do the impossible? We're at 18 minutes of a 25-minute race, and Fazzy is trying to take that fight to the Tidders at the moment. Ginger in third spot in the Rexy, looking for big points here against Carlsberg. Frank in fourth, and Frank trying to close in on Ginger, but they're a similar pace, although Ginger did drop a good chunk of time that last lap around, giving Frank an opportunity to try and get himself back on the podium. Then the Saint in fifth, ahead of Blackstar, so Blackstar closing in on fifth place at the moment. And the Saint a 2:10.8 last time around, Blackstar a 2:09.6, so Blackstar does have the pace on the Saint. Sat on board with Blackstar at the moment as he closes in on the Saint. Saint's driving. He's had to have his elbows out this evening's race. He's really had to put in a shift, has the Saint, for that fifth place. It's been a battle and a half, and now Blackstar's rolling up to the rear derriere of the Saint, trying to find a way past. He's choosing this one, gets a good drive out of the corner, a bit of slipstream, and yes, the Saint then getting overtaken by a Blackstar. Saint, ooh, a yellow flag up ahead. Oh, Tidders, looks like Tidders has had a moment. OMG, LOL. Oh, he's going slow there. So where's it happened? Did he hit the wall? He's already picked up a penalty. Don't see, really. He's still ahead of Fazzy. I've gone back about 30 odd seconds. He's picked up a penalty, so he must have had a small off. And he's not quite paid that penalty yet, but maybe he's just being a little cautious after having a small off. That he doesn't want to push the Porsche or something. Oh, again, oh, knocked the corner of that wall. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. That will do it indeed. And that's Fazzy taking over the lead of the race. But can Tidders, we know he's got the pace. As soon as he pays the penalty, can he get back on that horse and chase down the Fazzy and retake that lead? We know Tidders has been absolutely relentless so far in this race. And now this is a show of character if he can drag himself up against the Fazzy and take Fazzy. But Fazzy absolutely landing those lap times of late with the 2:08s on the reg. And the car is getting lighter. So Fazzy finding more time out there at Lago Maggiore. And Tidders yet to pay that penalty, but looking very swift. Ginger. Oh, Ginger's hanging it out, and he has to wrestle the Porsche there to keep it under control. Unbelievable driving from Ginger. You cannot question the commitment in Ginger as he makes his way around in third place. Unbelievable driving. He knows the Frank has got his cards marked and is chasing him down, but the Frank has had a big one. A 22 last time around. Where is Blackstar? Oh dear, that's not how close you want the Blackstar next to you. It might erupt and become supernova, but Blackstar closing in very much to the Frank now. And Frank must be getting slightly nervous at how close Blackstar is bringing his temporal disturbances. The Saint then in sixth place with Carlsberg in seventh. Carlsberg doesn't look like he's got the opportunity to close back up to the Saint, but behind the Berg we've got Ninja Waitsy bringing the noise. Can they close in on the Berg? The Berg a 2:12.3 last time around. Ninja a 2:12.8, and Waitsy dropping a couple of seconds there. But he is able, and now look at Bubblegum starting to get some really good lap times. So Bubblegum, one to watch for race 2 possibly. He's finding his groove in race 1. It'll be a reverse grid, so if he stays around that area, he will be at the front of the pack come race 2. And if he can knock that 13s into the 12s, then he's got a good chance of staying out there in the front before the likes of Black Star and such what catch him up. Steele, his second lap was his fastest lap. Do you think he may be pushing a little too hard? Just take deep breaths, Steele. There's no, it's the slower you go round, the faster you go round. Honestly, it's not about pushing, not about late braking. It's just a smooth ride. A smooth ride will always, it'll be slower in the beginning, but the more laps you do of that smooth ride, you'll find it gets closer and closer to a stronger lap time. You've just got to, it's a weird one. It is like Lightning McQueen. You've got to go slow to go fast. Fazzy has been an extremely naughty boy. He must have told the teacher a naughty word, because he's got 1.5 second penalty, and that is perfect for Tidders, who isn't 1.5 seconds behind him. I'd say he's reasonably less than 1.5 seconds behind the Fazmeister. So Fazzy picking up a huge penalty. God knows what he's done. He must have picked his nose, rolled it and flicked it for a 1.5 second penalty, or he's not tidied his room for a while, and that is him paying that penalty. And Tidders now retakes the lead of the race, and Ginger still too far away though for Ginger, and Fazzy looks like he might be safe in that second place, but oh, we've only got 1.5 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. This next lap will be the final lap, and Fazzy will be hoping that Tidders makes some sort of error or mistake. Will he hit that corner of that wall again? Not this time, sir. No. And Tidders goes through then, leader of the race as they start their final lap. And Fazzy is in chase. So close to the win there for Fazzy. Ginger looks safe for third place as he starts his final lap. And the Frank, where is the Frank? The Frank is still ahead of Black Star, but Black Star is absolutely slapping some fast lap times down at the moment, and Frank should be nervous. He should have a slight concern about going into this final lap, and he's got a Black Star coming at him rather swiftly. The Saint in 6th looks safe from the Berg, but the Berg now has been caught by Ninja. And Ninja having an up and down race. This race has closed in on the Berg and still could get something out of this. 7th place is still up for grabs, and the Berg really not finding his swagger here at Lago Maggiore. It's not his suit, baby. It's not his bag. So Ninja closing in, Waitsy there in 9th, Bubblegum in 10th. Bubblegum doing some nice lap times the last couple of rounds around, and that could mean he's going to be dangerous for the second race. Steele in 11th place at the moment, but Tidders is the man in the lead, has done all the work, lost the lead temporarily, but Fazzy somehow picked up a 1.5 second penalty, which gave Tidders the opportunity to retake the lead. Great stuff here from the Ultimate Racing League and the pilots of the Academy. Ginger in 3rd place. That podium looks pretty safe from the Frank, and Frank saying this was his favourite race, but he looked to be able to keep the pace of Tidders there, and lost a little bit of time, slipped back off of the podium, but he's having fun, and that is the main thing as we watch Tidders now close in. I think the Steele's finished in 11th. Tidders grabs the win, and Fazzy comes home in 2nd place. Ginger is our man for the podium there, the final podium step in the big mean Rexy, chomping at the bit there to get on his podium, and he can shake a bit of lemonade around the podium steps. as Ginger crosses in third. Frank under pressure from Blackstar. Blackstar's been chipping away at Frank's lead all this lap, but it's Frank in the end that's going to cross the line for fourth place. Frank grabs fourth, Blackstar in fifth. Then we've got the Saint in sixth. No worries, no stress for the Saint. He got in there amongst it all, but left them behind. Ninja is ahead, and Wasey ahead of the Berg. So Ninja grabs himself seventh, and Wasey in eighth. Great racing from everyone involved. Fantastical stuff. Seventh, eighth, and ninth there for the Berg. The Berg going rather slow though over the line, and Bubblegum setting himself up for a very good, strong second race there in 10th place. Finding those 13s in the end, which is mostly what everyone is doing. The front guys are doing 208s, 209s. But I think we're finding that mid-pack, well, you see, Frank can do a 209. Blackstar was in 208s. The Saint did a 210 at best. Ninja, 212s. Wasey's 212s. And the Berg's 212s. So it's tight in their fields, ladies and gentlemen. So Tidders takes that win ahead of Fazzy and Ginger. The top three, with Frank in fourth, Blackstar in fifth, the Saint in sixth, Ninja in seventh, Wasey comes home in eighth, the Berg in ninth, the Bubblegum is in 10th place, with Steel finishing in 11th. Reverse grids for the next race then, another 25 minutes and another bunch of absolute solid racing. And hopefully they got this race off early enough so the junior class can stay. Sometimes they have to leave for the second race if it gets a little too late in the evening. And we'll see when we open up the grid, which should be reverse of the results of the first race. I haven't deleted any cookies for a while, so hopefully everything works well. Pause on. Let's get our information up. Also, I wouldn't even be able to do this stuff. Oh, the Saint's gone to the back for some reason. So, I'm not sure. Maybe the Saint left the room and came back again. And it's put him at the, well, you know, at the front, but the back. But it looks like the Saint is starting ahead of Steel and Bubblegum. With the Berg. Sometimes that doesn't work though, is that? No, he isn't. It's gone funny. Sometimes there's a glitch where it says the Saint's at the front, but I can see he's ahead of Blackstar and behind Ninja. So yeah, there's a glitch. Forget about the Saint at the top, he's not. It's Steel starting at the front with Bubblegum alongside in third. Second. Carlsberg starting in third. Then we have Wasey starting in fourth. Then we'll have the Ninja. Then it's the Saint, then it's Blackstar, then Frank, then Ginger, Fazzy, and then the Tidders starting right at the very back. So we'll go to Steel. That's a weird glitch, but it'll sort itself out by the first sector, and it'll put the Saint back behind Ninja and in front of Blackstar. And Frank saying, I'll be right back, gotta finish up some revision for my mocks. That is more important, sir. You get on with mocks. My youngest has just, I think he's just done some mocks. I don't know if he's got more mocks to do. No, February he's got more mocks. Seems weird, the same year you're going to do your exams, they get you to do some pretend exams. I suppose it's just to get you used to it. Practice for it. So yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, Frank. Don't worry about revising. It's just practice. No, you've got to revise. You've got to do well. It goes to show that you've been listening over the last 4 years. So, I will see you later, Frank. You do you, and you get your revision on, bro. That's what it's about. 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? 6, 7. They're the marks you're looking for. Steel then leads them away, and he is off. Wow, Steel's got a huge bump there. It's worked out quite nicely for Steel, it has to be said, with a nice little lead on Bubblegum. The Berg, who's had some issues in this race so far. Wasey in 8th, Ninja in 9th, and now it's put the Saint back where he should be in 6th place, ahead of Black Star in 7th, Ginger in 8th, then we've got the Frank in 9th, but Frank's under pressure from Fazzy. Fazzy coming in strong. Fazzy absolutely climbing all over the curbs and trying to get himself ahead of the Frank and Tidders as well, getting a little slide on ahead of the Frank, but Frank letting him know he's still there and he's still present in this race. Then Frank again facing off with the Tidders like he did in race 1. Bubblegum catching up with Steele, but he's picked up a penalty in the process somehow, some way. It's quite rude here at Lago Maggiore for its penalties. Likes to dish them out. So Steele and the Bubblegum side by side down the straight as Carlsberg chases them down, and Steele then trying to stay ahead, under braking, and the Bubblegum goes through. And Bubblegum now leads this race as Steele holds on to 2nd place, and the Berg in 3rd. He closes in on Steele also, and Steele trying to make that Porsche as wide as possible, keep his race in line and do what needs to be done to hold position. He's come back against Bubblegum. Bubblegum's hit the wall. Bubblegum's hit the wall. Unbelievable stuff. The Steele takes the lead of the race, and Ninja tries to get by. Steele slowing down for some reason. Steele slowing down, and the Berg's off. The Berg's off wide, and Ninja leads this race with Steele back into 2nd place. Bubblegum in 3rd, but Bubblegum paying a penalty, losing positions to Blackstar and the Berg that go either side of him, and then now it's the Ninja that leads the race ahead of Steele, who has Blackstar for company, and Blackstar then trying to find a way past Steele. He decides to go that way. Steele's just driving his racing line, doing what he needs to do. But Steele, ooh, beautiful stuff from Steele there. Unbelievable under such pressure with the rest of the crew trying to get by. Oh, the Saints just smashed the wall in the background. And Blackstar then does make his way past Steele there. Steele there in 3rd ahead of the Berg, but the Berg is trying to come down the inside of Steele as Steele holds ground. And the Berg does make it up the inside, and Steele has a look up the inside, but nothing's doing. And then Steele there behind the Berg. No, when he picks up a penalty, I don't think he did anything wrong there, sir. I don't think you did anything wrong. And Bubblegum then making his way through, but he's gone a little bit wide there, giving Fazzy an opportunity to take the position. But it is an absolute cluster down here in the mid-pack as Watesy goes wide now as well. They're all taking it in turns to go wide through these corners. Fazzy then in 4th. Bubblegum in 5th, being chased by Ginger. Tidders is up to 7th now with Steele down into 8th with that penalty. Frank looking very racy, but Frank now losing a position to the Saints as he goes wide there, and Watesy looks for a way to go through. And Watesy, after we saw him going wide, has worked his way to the back of the pack as he heads down the straight. Frank then somehow in 10th place behind the Saint. We saw the Saint have a smash of the wall, and the Saint is all up and about the Steele's business, and the Steele trying to hold ground, but Frank as well sneaking one through as the Saint goes past the Steele. And now Ginger's having issues. Ginger off the road. Saw Ginger off the road, and Tidders goes up and into 5th place. And the racing is fast and thick throughout the field. Ninja leads from Black Star. Black Star making his way all the way up to the top now as Fazzy in 3rd and the Berg in 4th. Black Star having a look at the opportunity to go past the Ninja, but the Ninja closes the door. He says, no way, sir, not today. You can stay back there in 2nd. Ninja is going for the win. Capital W, ladies and gentlemen. So Ninja leads with Black Star in 2nd place, Fazzy in 3rd. Fazzy is a danger winner, not winner, nearly winner from race 1. And if it wasn't for a 1.5 second penalty, Fazzy could have taken all of it. And Fazzy gets past Black Star there. Absolutely cracking racing betwixt the two of them. Berg in 4th place, hunting them down with Tidders in 5th. Tidders, race winner from race 1 of this event, round 8. Looking to get past the Berg, championship leader at the moment, Fazzy, Black Star, all very close. It looks like Fazzy's dropped behind Carlsberg as well. Fazzy having a small issue there, dropping a few places. Unbelievable stuff. Fazzy was up there in 2nd place and now slipping back. as Ninja in first, Blackstar in second, and they're close up now. The lead is up for grabs, it would seem. Tidders, Blackstar and the Berg all closing in on Ninja as he tries to get away from the commotion. Blackstar again getting up the inside of Ninja, but he's done that before, and we've seen the Ninja come back, but the Ninja sends it hard into the corner. Poor Ninja, he absolutely sent that one, and has found himself facing the wrong way. Oh, and he didn't ghost for the Saint. What a shame. And the Saint clouts the Ninja off to the side of the track. Ninja, he doesn't know which way he's facing now. Still up, he's going to close in on Ninja himself. And they're on their way now as Ninja. Blackstar leads with Tidders in second, Berg in third, Fazzy down in fourth, and any one of the top 5 or 6 could take the win here. Even Bubblegum is in with a shout here. He's just got to get those regular lap times going. And Frank all over the back of Ninja as Fazzy in fourth, the Berg in third, Tidders in second, giving Blackstar what for, and Blackstar trying to keep it steady, trying to keep it easy on the track, take the win. Spawny Racer in the chat saying, evening thingy, happy new year, bud. Well, thank you very much, happy new year to you too, sir. Blackstar then leads the race with Tidders in chase. Tidders, winner of the first race from this round. And he feels like he can do it again. Carlsberg, championship leader, finding himself up there at the sharp end, the pointy end of the pack. But there's some very, very fast sim racers chasing him down with Fazzy, Ginger and the Frank, and also Bubblegum. Bubblegum, though, not finding the pace here at Lago Maggiore. We've seen him get at some of the other tracks. The Saint having a lot of unluck in this race. We saw him hit the wall, and then we saw him hit Ninja when you'd think Ninja was ghosted. Waitsy in ninth. Didn't see what happened to Waitsy, but his second lap was a 2:20, which was a tough one. And Ninja, obviously, last lap around, we saw him getting spinned about, and I don't think he knew what direction he was facing. And still in 11th, having a bit of an issue early on in this race. Big penalty for Tidders. A deja vu moment from race 1. Tidders, he really does upset someone. It must be the poor language that he uses, the naughty words, like damn. Fazzy and Blackstar, as the Berg takes the lead of the race there. So Blackstar dropping off there. He was in second to Tidders. So maybe Blackstar and Tidders had a bit of a coming together. Now Tidders down in fourth, being franked by, quite frankly, Frank all up and about the business of the Tidders as Ginger gets into this action as well. We'll sit on board with Ginger for a while it's all kicking off ahead of us. Berg leads from Blackstar, Fazzy in third, Tidders in fourth. We can see the rear derriere of Frank in fifth as we sit aboard Ginger in sixth. We've got Bubblegum behind us in seventh, and he's ahead of the Saint. And look at him file up there. Blackstar's gone wide. Blackstar has gone wide. He's rejoined the track. Nothing serious, but Ginger gets the move up, and Tidders is up into second now. But Ginger's had to back off. Did he have a little bump with Frank? I'm not sure. Frank then now is behind Ginger somewhere. There he is in the mirrors. We can see him. We can see him. And Carlsberg leads with Tidders in second, Fazzy in third, with Blackstar in fourth, Ginger in fifth, and the Frank in sixth, who's off doing revising right now. Fingers crossed. We wish you all the luck with those mocks. So Ginger then on the rear derriere of Blackstar, looking to get a move done. The Berg still leads this race ahead of Tidders, who won the first race from this round, and Fazzy, who almost won the first race of this round. Oh, someone's had a moment. It's the Berg. The Berg having a moment up ahead, and he's picked up a penalty for his woes. And that puts Tidders back in the lead of this race. Fazzy a little out wide, and he's picked up a penalty. He's a naughty boy. He pays his penalty almost straight away, as does the Berg. And Frank goes ahead of the Ginger, and Blackstar has dropped back quite significantly from the fight, as Ginger now under attack from the Berg and from the Frank, and Frank not quite getting the job done, and Ginger now up and into third ahead of Frank and ahead of the Berg, but Ginger only just staying ahead of Frank giving it full beans behind the Ginger. And up ahead we have Tidders again leading the race. Good work by Tidders. Fazzy chasing him down, keeping him honest. Ginger in third place, but Frank sends it up the inside. Does he send it too hard? No, just about stays on the road, and Frank absolutely brave move into that corner late on the brakes, and got himself ahead of the Ginger. We are coming up to 12 minutes in this race, nearly halfway through, and it has been action-packed from start to this point. Tidders then leads the race with Fazzy closing in. Fazzy getting very close, but Fazzy sent it hard. Fazzy just about surviving. Great recovery there. Any other person, well, I would have spun, but Fazzy kept his head, kept off that accelerator, pointed towards the road, and saved the car, and still stays ahead of third place Frank, who's closing in. Ginger in fourth ahead of Carlsberg, who was leading this race, who now is ahead of Blackstar, who is a huge threat in that championship battle, ladies and gents. The Saint in seventh, keeping it honest, but Bubblegum starting to come through. Wasey's had a problem, drop back even more, and Ninja is on the comeback drive of his season after having a huge spin. And Steele out there, Steele at 18.4. Steele's absolutely starting to land at those lap times now. Come on, Steele, give it some welly. Tidders then leads the race with Fazzy in chase. Frank there in third place. And Fazzy looks very tidy here in this corner. Fazzy going around the outside. Can he keep it? Can he maintain it? Tidders going for a late break, but it's Fazzy on the inside. And it's Fazzy now that leads the race ahead of the Tidders. And he's got to stay in the white lines, and he does so. And now Fazzy leads this race with Tidders setting chase. We are over halfway in, and Frank looking very racy in third place. If Tidders and, oh no, the Berg's going in for some reason. The Berg, I don't know if he's accidentally gone into the pits or what. The championship leader heading towards the pit lane. No need for pits, no tyre wear. Fuel should make it. So Tidders leads again from Fazzy. Fazzy now under threat from Frank. Frank's going up and into second place. Unbelievable sights we are seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, with Tidders again leading the race with Frank in second, just like the beginning of the first race. And Fazzy there in third, Ginger in fourth. Ginger very close here. Ginger could be looking at a win if he plays his cards right, if he does a Brucey foresight. Blackstar, I mean, these are all juniors and young'uns. They don't know who Brucey Forsyth is, and play your cards right. Or was that Barrymore? Barrymore was Strike It Lucky. Play Your Cards Right was Brucey, I'm sure it was. Ginger then in fourth place, Fazzy in third. We've got the Frank in second. Tidders leads the way. And the Saint there in sixth place. The Saint a little bit off that battle. Blackstar isn't off the lead battle here. And we could have a five-way fight for the win here, ladies and gentlemen, as we move into the last 10 minutes of racing. Tidders leads from Frank, but Frank is the fastest man on the track. Fazzy in third with the Ginger in fourth. We've got Blackstar in fifth. Saint there is in sixth place. Bubblegum in seventh. I couldn't hear myself on the iPad. Sorry, guys. So Bubblegum, 2:13.9 last time around. The Saint did a 2:10, and but the Saint he's not that far ahead of the Bubblegum. Slight mistakes can happen, and the Saint he's going to have to knuckle down. He's doing some good lap times though. I'm surprised that the Bubblegum's that close, because Bubblegum did a 17 last time around. I think the Saint may have got past him a lap or two ago. Waitsy, he's got a penalty, but he's doing some good lap times. But so is Bubblegum. Just what not they need. Ninja in 9th place, makes up that place from the Berg going in. He must have needed a potty. He must have needed to go to the loo or something. Tidders then leads the way. Frank in 2nd. Frank very close, but Frank's gone wild. Wild and wide, ladies and gentlemen. Gives Fazzy the place. And Ginger as well, moving up to 3rd. Ginger's carrying a naughty boy tag though. And Fazzy is in 2nd, chasing down Tidders. Tidders, for the time being, leads the way. As Fazzy again tries to take that win away from him, like he tried in the first race, but was not successful. Ginger in 3rd, a threat, a definite threat here for the win. Could go either way. And Frank slipping back into 4th, but he is the fastest man on the track. So also not one to be counted out, but is in a precarious position at the moment as Blackstar closing in on him, and Blackstar is a danger. And Frank saying, just finished and I see me lose 2 places. Isn't that just the way? I thought we were going to see you win. Sitting right up Tidders for a fair few laps there. Tidders at the moment then leads the way with Fazzy in 2nd, Ginger in 3rd. We are just minutes away from the end of this race. Ginger doing some very, very good lap times. Again, a 2:09 next to Fazzy, 2:08.4. Fazzy taking the fastest lap away from Frank. And Tidders there, 2:08.8. Somewhat slower than Fazzy, half a second nearly, virtually. Half a second slower than Fazzy. Fazzy closing in. And Fazzy all over those curbs, making the Cayman slightly unsettled. She doesn't like the curbs. So Tidders doing what needs must to stay ahead, keeping it smooth, keeping it tidy, and keeping it off the curbs, more importantly. We see Fazzy closing right up. Oh, Tidders sent it too hard through the flying hairpin, and that gives Fazzy the lead. And Fazzy had to alternate his line, not to avoid the Tidders there. He could have collected the Tidders, and then it would have gone all Ginger's way. But Fazzy, quick reflexes, got out of Tidders' way. Tidders though, quick recovery from a short mistake, and now back on Faz's equipment. Fazzy feeling the heat from behind by Tidders. Tidders absolutely giving it his all at the moment. And will these two race themselves out of the win? And again, Tidders going for that wide line, trying to close in on the Fazzy. Then we have Ginger just circling like a vulture, waiting to attack the carcass of what could be the win for either one of these. Fazzy at the moment though keeps that lead ahead of Tidders. Tidders again moving to another side to have a look at the fresh air up the side of the Fazzy, seeing what his options are. But Fazzy not giving him many options by driving lightning fast. Ginger in 3rd. You can see they are all having to slide that car around that final corner. Frank then in 4th place. As we come up to 5 minutes left of racing here, Blackstar in 5th. He can't do anything about the Frank, and the Saint isn't that far behind Blackstar. So any mistakes ahead, and the Saint is there to collect. Bubblegum in 7th ahead of Waitsy, and Bubblegum and Waitsy having a huge championship battle, remember, and this is going Bubblegum's way at the moment. Good stuff. Not much so much for Waitsy. And Ninja having big issues earlier in the race, which put him out of contention, but he's playing the comeback game. And Steele there in 10th place, 15 from Steele. Those lap times absolutely starting to come together for Steele at the moment. Great stuff. Unbelievable. Steele finding his groove, ladies and gentlemen, and doing some very respectable lap times. I am impressed. Colour me impressed. And Carlsberg on the toilet, with Fazzy leading and pulling away from Tidders now. 4 minutes remaining of this race. Tidders picking up a huge penalty. Huge penalty for Tidders, and Ginger is there to collect, ladies and gents. Fazzy could take a win here as Tidders finds himself the wrong side of the stewarding AI of the game. 1.5 second penalty, slow down, and Ginger does move up and into second place, and Tidders sees his race win falling even further away from his fingertips. Frank in 4th place, looking to break into the top 3, as is Blackstar. The Saint still in the action in 6th place. He's way ahead of Bubblegum, and Bubblegum picking up a penalty, but he's got a nice distance from Waitsy, so he is not too concerned by that penalty. And Waitsy as well, been a naughty boy, but he's going to pay that the next time round. And Ninja also a very naughty boy. Steele, don't see him get penalties, do you, eh? And still moving forward in those lap times. 2:14.4 now from Steele. Fantastic stuff. What's an improvement as the race has gone on. And Carlsberg in the pits. Fazzy leads from Ginger. Ginger at 2:09.1 last time around. That's his fastest lap. And a 2:09.3 from Fazzy, but Fazzy is able to get into the 08s. So he needs to do a couple of those to keep Ginger at bay. Then we've got Tidders sitting in 3rd, Frank in 4th, and Blackstar trying to close in. Oh, Blackstar's been a naughty boy and has picked up a 1 second penalty, but he should be safe from the Saint behind him. But it's going to put an end to his fight for 4th place here. I am sure of it. Fazzy leads, Ginger in 2nd, Tidders in 3rd. We've got less than 2 minutes to go in these races. I think the next lap will be the final lap. This must be the penultimate lap for these guys. And Fazzy then, again, purple sectors for Fazzy. He is serious. He is not messing about. And Fazzy looking for the win for the Marmite Porsche team. And the big Rexy wanting that win, but I think Ginger is going to have to get defensive before the end of this race, because he has got a very swift Tidders closing in on his rear derriere. So the Rexy's got to watch its tail, because there's a Tidders coming to nip it. Frank in 4th. He's got his hands full with the Blackstar behind, but Blackstar not as close. He had that penalty, remember, as they crossed the line to start their final lap of this round even. And Blackstar then in 5th. The Saint comes around and starts his final lap in 6th place, ahead of Bubblegum. 30 seconds left on the clock at this point. Bubblegum coming around, and he should cut the line before the timer runs out. So Bubblegum coming up towards the line, and yes, easily gets over with 10 seconds to go. And Waitsy, he'll get to do the final lap as well. As Ninja, possibly not. The clock will probably run out on Ninja and Steele. 2:15 from Steele. I am mightily impressed with Steele's lap times come the end of this race. I've got to say, fantastic stuff from Steele. So Ninja coming around that final corner. It's an unfortunate race for Ninja, really. He had some good pace. I think there was a podium there for him, but the spin put an end to that, and Ninja then crossing the line in 9th spot. Great drive. With Steele not that far behind for 10th. Great pace for Steele. Carlsberg in the pits. So Fazzy leads from the Ginger. It's the final lap. Tidders taking the fastest lap last time around. And he has really got a can-do attitude and wants to take the fight to Ginger for that second place. And Ginger has just got to not make a mistake. He's just got to keep it on the track, keep it neat and tidy, and keep Tidders at bay for that second spot. Fazzy comes around the final corners now as he sees the checkered flag as he comes around the corner, and then he just lands that accelerator, floors it towards the checkered flag and takes a win. Great stuff, Fazzy. Ginger in second, that'll help his championship. Tidders in third, just behind him. Frank gets a very respectable 4th place there, ahead of Black Star. Not Black Star's round. We see him usually take a win, at least one in a round, and not for Black Star today. The Saint brings it home in 6th spot. And against Carlsberg, that's some good points. Unfortunately, losing points to Ginger, but brings them both very much closer to Carlsberg in that championship battle. And Bubblegum, respectable drive there for 7th place, keeping his championship hopes alive ahead of the Waitsy, who brings it home in 8th. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute delight from the Ultimate Racing League, their academy. And yeah, like I said, they're yet to do their final round. So if anyone's out there hasn't really done pro sim racing before, you've got GT7, you've got the PSN monthly thing, so you can race online. Then have a look for the Ultimate Racing League. Get yourself signed up. There is no embarrassment here. There is no shame. If you slip off the road, we expect it. That is what the academy is about. In fact, I'm rather surprised we're not having more offs at this point in the championship. It goes to show. It goes to show these guys have got stronger and better as the season has gone on. So, yes, I would say if you're out there, you're undecided, no matter what age, there is no age restriction here. For this championship, you are in a safe place. Get your parents to sign up to it. That's what a lot of the juniors do. Their parents sign them up, and their parents do all the chatting for them. So, yeah, if you're a youngster and you fancy it, get your mum and dad on Facebook into the Ultimate Racing League situation and get signed up. It is brilliant. Frank in the chat saying, I've got a lot of clips from this race from Twitch. Yeah, Frank, he likes to stream them on Twitch, so check out Frank on his Twitch to see from his point of view, the inside views of the academy, see what more about it. So, Fazzy takes a win. I don't know if that's his first win. I've not kept track of these things. But Fazzy, great work on the win. Ginger in second. Then we have Tidders coming home in third. Great top three. Frank in fourth. And we know he's in the chat. He's doing his mocks. And Frank saying, I put clips on YouTube as well. So, yeah, check that out. Check out the Frank on YouTube. Black Star in fifth. With the Saint in sixth. Bubblegum in seventh. Waitsy in 8th, Ninja in 9th, Steele in 10th, and the Berg comes home in 11th, which isn't great for his championship. He's leading the championship. Can he afford those points? Ginger's taken some out of him, and, well, yeah, they've all taken some points out of him. This is going to run up till the end, it would seem. Huge congratulations to the Faz Meister. Well done. And thank you to Ultimate Racing League and the admins for organising all of this for our pleasure. A huge thank you to all of our sim pilots out there that turn up week in, week out to do battle and give us some absolutely fabulous entertainment. And a huge thank you to you guys that tune in regularly, or if you find it by accident. I mean, it's not for me, it's for these guys. You know, I do it for those. I'm so, you know, go and send your love to Ultimate Racing League, because, you know, that's who's behind all of this. But thank you for tuning in, is what I'm kind of saying. Nothing more to say. I'll try and get the next academy to you before they drive their final round. That would be awesome, wouldn't it, if we're up to date before they race. They've had a break over Christmas. It's given me a chance to catch up a little bit. Now I'm only one behind. So we'll see what we can do. Thank you for joining in. Happy New Year. 2026, eh? The year Williams wins the F1 Championship, shall we say. No, I don't think they will. But I can dream. Tooroo, guys. Thank you for joining in. Peace and love. Peace and love.